Okay. Okay, we are live. Hopefully. We had some technical difficulties, so I had to completely redo everything. Hopefully we'll wait a few minutes to see if anyone tunes in. Hey guys, forgive me for my red eyes. I've been chopping onions and garlic and no bueno. Really quick, I'm just gonna get hooked up here on the laptop so we can keep up with comments and try to answer as many of your guys' questions as we can and not to miss any of them. So if I'm looking down and I seem like I'm not paying attention for a second, that's why. Dusty has taken over the chopping of the veggie stew that I was doing, so that's a plus. Let's see here. Hey Lori, we're super glad that you're enjoying our channel. That's always exciting to hear. I'm gonna try and tilt this a little bit. Whoopsie. First couple minutes are always a little hectic when we set up these live things. Happy Friday Eve to everybody. Yeah, Max is sitting back there in his little, it's called a mama-roo. He loves it. It like puts him right to sleep. It has little like white noise sound effects you can choose from. And right now, believe it or not, it is on the ocean sounds setting, which is very fitting for his middle name being Ocean. Someone just asked if you guys will be able to watch this once we're not live anymore, and I believe that you will, because we usually end up publishing them, so they'll be on our video playlist. So you can always look for it there, but if you're live, you have the benefit of asking us questions in real time that we get to have fun answering and connecting with all of you guys. I'm still trying to find out how to get this set up here. I'm trying to find where the live thing is. So, any questions so far, you guys? Basically, I'll let you know what we've been up to. I mean, not like it's anything exciting as of late. Today, I basically spent the whole day getting caught up on computer work with Max here at the house. And that's really about it. Dusty was out at the lake, out at our boathouse property that's on Airbnb, getting that cleaned up and ready for some guests this weekend. And I just saw a comment, when are you guys coming to Seattle? And that's definitely on our bucket list. Hopefully sooner than later. Is it okay to consume soy while eating whole foods plant-based? Yes, it is okay to eat soy. This is it's a common misconception that soy will mess with your hormones basically. And basically what you want to look out for is GMO, genetically modified versions of soy. So as long as you're purchasing non-GMO and organic, which organic is always non-GMO, then you're perfectly fine. And there are studies that actually show that soy and soy products can actually prevent breast cancer and other types of cancers. So it's definitely the opposite of the rumor mill, I guess you could say. A lot of people hear the opposite and they're super worried about, eating soybeans or tofu. But we don't do it often, but from time to time we do enjoy it. I love edamame. Like if we go get vegan sushi, I just love edamame so much. Still can't find these. Russ, do you want to come help me quick? Let me see. I can't keep up with the comments here. Well, let's see. If you come take over the computer, then I can keep up by looking at the screen. You want to do that? Any help? Here we go, I found it. Okay, now I should be able to keep up with your guys' questions. Okay, now because before I legit couldn't. Okay, because before I legit couldn't. Let's see. How's the baby sleeping through the night? He's sleeping a lot better through the night now. I guess it's always rough the first like 2 or 3 months because they want to eat constantly. So I was waking up every couple of hours, and now he only wakes up once in the middle of the night and then once early morning, which usually serves as my alarm clock. So really I'm only getting up once in the middle of the night to feed. But he sleeps like a baby, and when he eats, he goes right back to sleep, so no complaints there. Let's see. When you guys went vegan, did you all in and never turn back, or did you have any slip-ups? So we had a long and gradual transition. We started just by cutting out meat for 40 days. We have a video, it's our vegan story. We've got a couple different ones where we shared a little bit more about that. But we basically eliminated meat for 40 days. And then after that, we kind of went back and we decided, you know what, we felt better without it. So from there, we just quit bringing meat into the home. And whenever we'd go out to dinner, maybe I would still get salmon, or maybe we'd go get cheese pizza. I don't know what it was, but for a long time, you know, we just took it easy. We weren't trying to force anything on ourselves. We just let it happen naturally. And the more that we learned and the more that our tastes changed, eventually we just, you know, quit eating animal products altogether. But it was definitely a gradual process that took probably a year and a half. And the very last thing to go was oil. So yeah, we are oil free now. And feeling great, and I don't foresee making any dietary shifts that are very extreme, because we've been this way for, you know, 2 or 3 years, I would say. Right, we've been vegan for 5, and barely. Yeah, so Dusty's gonna eat his salad. I just finished mine.
I am starving.
Maybe you should give the audience a little sneak preview of it.
Of the food?
Yeah.
Okay, well, nothing fancy. Same thing I seem to always be eating during a live. Just a salad now, but we've got a stew on the stovetop and some hummus and some crackers.
What is the best plant-based protein for after a workout? If you're thinking, I don't know what let me think. Well, as far as protein powders go, we use Sun Warrior protein. That's our favorite because it's raw, organic, and the variety we get, the Warrior blend, is also gluten-free, grain-free. It tastes incredible. We don't ever drink it by itself, so I can't really speak to how, if it's chalky or anything like that, but we always just mix it into our smoothie blends. And it's amazing. It feels great, works great for breakfast or for pre or post workout. And as far as just whole food proteins, I would say if I had to choose, I would go for grains and beans. My favorites being chickpeas, black beans, and lentils. I think those would be your best options if you're wanting to stick to whole foods. Curious your perspective on the link between veganism and your religious beliefs. Honestly, we try not to confuse the two or try too hard to kind of pick and choose from the Bible, you know, what verses might fit our lifestyle. But ultimately, if you look at it from a very broad view, then compassion, yes, love for all beings, respect, it's all in the Bible. It's all part of what we believe. So if you're looking at it in a really broad sense like that, then I would definitely say that veganism and Christianity are super aligned. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I really don't think it's an issue. I don't think there's a right way to eat according to the Bible. If you read the Daniel, the book of Daniel, you'll read about the 2 workers that went to their master and said, "Feed us only vegetables, no meat, no wine," and they were exceedingly healthier. That's just kind of a random thing. There are no like clear precepts. There's no rules, there's no laws either way. You know, I think that to try and compare the two, Like they're not, I don't think that they crisscross in any way. I don't think that there's anything that says that veganism is right or wrong according to Christianity, you know? I think it's
more about respect.
It's kind of
for other
unrelated.
beings.
I really think it's unrelated.
It's not really like you can open the Bible and find a clear-cut answer either way, because I don't think that was really a concern for most people. I think it's just more about having respect for the planet we're on and the other beings that we share it with. Let's see.
We went vegan for health reasons, so that's true. But we went vegan for health reasons, and we didn't consider our religion when we did that. You know, I don't think that there's any reason to be drawn necessarily towards it or against it from like the veganism standpoint. And so yeah, like the compassion part makes sense, but that's not why we went vegan. We feel like that now, but I think it's kind of an unrelated issue.
Okay, next question. Between veggies and fruit and greens and other items like, let's see, guess what would be your ratios? 40% fruit, 40% veggies, 10% nuts and grains. I would say, I guess because we eat raw till 4, which a lot of you guys know, so raw foods until the afternoon, and then incorporating cooked foods at dinner time. I would say predominantly fruits and green leafies throughout the day, and then evening is mostly vegetables and then whole grains and all of that stuff, and we incorporate more fats at dinner time. I honestly wouldn't know percentage-wise, but I would say probably close to 40, and 20%. Yeah, like she said here, 40% fruit, 40% veggies, and then 20% would be all the rest. That would be my guess.
10%.
But yeah.
I already got 20%, yeah.
But yeah, I will say since becoming pregnant and now since breastfeeding, I have increased my fat intake a little bit, probably closer to 20%. But again, we're not sitting here with calculators or sitting on chronometer punching things in every day. We're just really, you know, we eat mostly carbohydrates and a little bit of nuts and seeds and avocados. So it just tends to fall kind of in that general area. Any advice on meal planning for transitioning? As far as meal planning, I would say get a handful of good smoothie recipes for breakfast, because breakfast is going to be the best meal of the day to transition with, so start there. So even if you look on our YouTube channel, we've got a handful of great nice cream and smoothie recipes, and if you don't want to go cold, then we've also got steel cut oat recipes, raw vegan porridge recipes. So things like that, maybe get like 3 go-to breakfasts that you can alternate between. And then from there, planning for lunch, get 3 healthy salad options. So one can be like a green leafy salad, one can be like a quinoa salad with diced veggies in it. And then maybe like a lentil or a rice salad, and just incorporating veggies into all of those. And then for dinner time, get a handful of good stew recipes. So just 1-pot stews, because they're going to be the best way to pack a concentrated amount of nutrition into one big pot, and it's going to have flavor because the flavors mesh together and it gets really juicy, and it keeps well in the refrigerator for 2 to 3 days. So I would say to just, you know, don't worry too much about trying something new every single day for, you know, the next month even. Just get 3 good recipes and repeat. And when you get tired of those, just start to add in a little bit more so that you're not overwhelming yourself right away. Let's see. Is coconut milk okay to eat every day for weight loss? I guess it depends what type of coconut milk. There's light coconut milk, and then there's just regular coconut milk.
No.
But as far as losing weight, number 1, coconut milk is mostly going to be saturated fat, and number 2, it is going to be extremely high in calories because it is primarily a fat source. So rather than worrying about you know, whether or not you should consume coconut milk every day, if you're trying to lose weight, I would say you're going to want to try to limit that. It depends how much you're drinking too. But
It's high fat, like Aaron said, so super high calorie. In order to lose weight, you have to be in a deficit, right? So I would cut it out. I would say no, it's not healthy for weight loss because it's going to be really hard for you to cut calories when you're consuming high calorie foods. So maybe sub it for something less fatty.
Dusty, how do I get hubby on board for going whole food, plant-based? I'm gonna grab Max. This one's you.
Well, I've got a number of ways. Depending on how old he is, there is overwhelming evidence that the first sign or the canary in the coal mine for heart disease is erectile dysfunction. So if he's our age and or doesn't have any issues with heart disease, that may not be compelling. However, if it is, it's super compelling for many men because obviously ED is not cool, not fun, and the number one thing, like we said, the canary in the coal mine for heart disease is erectile dysfunction. A plant-based diet will drastically reduce that. Other than that, if he wants to be leaner, which most people do, if he wants higher testosterone, which most men do, if he wants to have more energy, which most men do, then he will benefit from a whole food plant-based diet. I'm stronger, leaner, faster, have more energy, sleep better, and have better sexual performance on a plant-based diet. Period. So that's how.
If you're listening, Grandma, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Maxie, who is that on camera? Look up, baby.
He's looking at himself down here.
Yeah, he's looking at the laptop. All right, Max says hi, everybody. Let's see. Why did you choose to go oil-free instead of reduced? Isn't coconut oil good for the brain? There are several different types of healthy fats that are good for the brain, but oil is not going to be good for your arteries. So if you can eat nuts and seeds and avocados in moderation, then that's going to be just as good for your brain. Like the walnut is a great example of a nut that's really good for your brain. So if you can focus on the healthy whole plant foods, those are going to be even better for you. So coconut oil might be beneficial for your brain, but as far as we've been educated and in our own experience, our blood work is just better, and it's gonna be better for your heart if you're not consuming oil, and plus better for your waistline because oils add up extremely quickly as far as calories go.
That being said, if you're an athlete or young and or trying to conceive or like have hormonal issues or thyroid issues, if diabetes, weight loss, and heart disease aren't it for you, if you're like us, you're young, you're lean, I wouldn't necessarily be afraid of oil, right? Because you can benefit if you're trying to get calories. And if I was going to eat oil, which I sometimes do, it's usually coconut oil. So take that for what it's worth. But
okay, do you have any advice making kale taste better? Yes, we do. So the best way to make kale taste better, number one would be steam it, but if you're wanting to eat it raw, then the best way to make it taste good is going to be to kind of massage it. So if you're using, like we do, we usually use a guacamole or like mashed avocado as like our salad dressing or our healthy fat, then just kind of massage it with the avocado or with lemon juice. Lemon juice works really great too. Just anything that can kind of soften it, and literally just give it a massage, and you can let it sit in the refrigerator a little bit longer before you eat it if you want it to actually be really soft. But those are two great options. Lately we've just been doing mainly romaine in our salads, and then I'll just use either some soft mixed salad greens or just like a little bit of kale, so it's not just all like a super hard to chew salad. Let's see. Saw a video from a registered dietitian on drinking lemon water or any large amounts of fluid in the morning before you eat because it can lower the acid that we do need to help us digest our food. Any thoughts on that?
On against drinking?
I guess it must be against it. I guess I haven't read or heard anything about that. That's interesting. I will say that I feel best when I drink my 32 ounces of water in the morning. I don't do lemon water because I find that it makes my teeth really sensitive. Can you leave that on?
It's really cold where
one of us is hot and one of us is cold. I'm hot and my eyes are like bleeding because I chopped an onion. Let's see. We'll have to do our research though on the drinking the lemon water or liquid in the morning.
I would definitely drink water. I drink a lot of water every morning. You don't drink any water at night.
I will wake up in the morning and my stomach will be churning and it'll be growling and I'm super hungry. But I drink my water, 32 ounces first thing in the morning, and I don't feel hungry anymore. And it's not like I'm trying to not be hungry, but a lot of times when we feel hungry, the first thing you should do is hydrate, because a lot of times dehydration can masquerade as hunger. So I think it's important to hydrate first thing in the morning.
Definitely hydrate in the morning. I've never heard anything about not drinking water, but flushing fluids, especially in the morning. You go 6 to 8 hours without drinking fluid. We have water next to our bed, and so I'll have a sip here and there if I wake up once or twice in the night. But it's like, what, maybe an ounce or two? Try going 6 or 8 hours during the day without drinking water. You will pass out from dehydration. As soon as you wake up, drink lots of water. That's what I recommend, and that's what we've always heard.
But we will do some research on that. I'm curious. Do you guys still drink alcohol sometimes? Dusty does, like, very, very rarely, like maybe a beer, and it's been probably, you can't even say how long, and for me it's been over a year now.
You haven't had anything to drink for a year.
We're really at a place, I mean, we've got like a case of vegan fine wine in the basement, and it's super tempting that a friend actually sent us. So, you know, it's there, it's in our house, we entertain with it, but I haven't drank in a year, and I just feel like I do not miss it, I do not think about it. And it took me a long time to get to this place, because in college, I always felt like I was just itching and waiting for the weekend so I could have a drink when it was socially acceptable, and have multiple drinks and binge drink and black out. And slowly but surely, that's another thing that we didn't ever go cold turkey with. We just, you know, slowly phased it out as we got more mature, as our tastes changed, as our, you know, confidence built, because a lot of times I think I was only drinking so that I could be more social because I was so shy. And once I got over all of that and quit caring so much what other people thought and just found my own voice and my, you know, sense of self, then I quit worrying so much about drinking. That being said, that's not the reason everybody drinks, but I think you just need to find out if you're doing it for the right or the wrong reasons, and let that be your guide as to whether you might need to eliminate it from your life, or whether it's okay for you from time to time to have a glass of wine at a party or have a beer with your buddies. So we're not against it, but we're just in a place where we just don't even think about it anymore. It doesn't really cross our minds.
I would just upgrade your drink. So I had a glass of, I think I had a beer we went out to eat like a month ago. And that was probably the last time I had anything. But drink a red wine, drink something that is better, right? So there are better forms of alcohol or drinking. Obviously drinking less, but drink something better, like a red wine, because having one glass of red wine a week is actually supposed to benefit your heart health for a number of different reasons. Now, we're not advocating drinking, but just upgrade it, you know what I mean? Obviously drink less and upgrade your drink.
Right, and like
less
I said,
shots, less stuff like that, and more, you know, sip a nice glass of wine, that's probably okay, so.
And that's the place that we were at, like, a year and a half ago. Like, the past couple of years, we were at a place where it was just wine. That was all we really cared for anymore. But now, like I said, we have this case of vegan wine that a follower sent us. And we were reading about the company, and they were saying how many chemicals and, not to mention animal products, are in wine, and just things to give it a uniform consistency and color and taste. And preservatives, there's all kinds of stuff in it. So I'm like, wow, if I ever do drink wine again, I'm gonna be a total wine snob, because I won't want anything except this wine that we have, I should actually look up what the name of it is, what the company is. It's like one of those like wine clubs, but it's like the only ingredient in it is grapes.
We'll
and
do a video.
Every other wine has like ridiculous amounts of stuff in it. So
we'll make a video about alcohol.
yeah, but one last thing on alcohol. Our upgrade now lately has been kombucha, and there is a lot of mixed opinions on that as well because of the sugar content and whether the beneficial like probiotics in it actually do any good for your gut or whether it's just, you know, an upgraded soda. But if we were to go out, a lot of places now, even bars and coffee shops, are serving kombucha on tap. So that's a super big step in the right direction, I would say. If all of your friends are drinking something bubbly and you want to too, I think that's a fun option. Like last night we had some friends over and none of us drank. We just had kombucha and it was fun. So as a healthier, upgraded indulgence, you know, if you want to get out and be social, I think that's the best bet. Let's see. Have you guys tried the Sun Warrior collagen? No, but I did place an order for a tub of that, so I'm excited to try it out. I read through all of their information on the plant-based collagen, and I really love the sound of it because with all of these non-vegan collagens, like from fish scales and all of that stuff, you're putting actual like collagen from living creatures into your body, so you're telling your body it doesn't need to produce its own, whereas the Sun Warrior collagen is going to, it doesn't have actual collagen in it. It has all of the precursors and things that promote collagen production in your own body, which is much better, much more natural. And if you guys haven't heard of Sun Warrior, you probably have because we partnered with them. Either way, we do have a discount code. It's Eat Move Rest. If you go to the Sun Warrior website and you want to purchase something, you can get 20% off with it.
It's super good stuff. I have non-vegan friends that have asked me for the code and have started ordering this protein powder. Like I said, they're not interested in going vegan, but they have realized that it's a good upgrade and they love the product. It's super clean, super healthy. It's got BCAAs. If you're an athlete, those branched chain amino acids, like Sun Warrior is legit. And there's tons of research. They have articles about it. We've heard from a lot of people that say, oh, Sun Warrior is not great, but it is, and we've done the research, so.
There he sees himself.
There
Who is
you are,
that
bud.
handsome stud?
Yeah.
Can you guys hear our music?
It might be too loud.
Here. Okay. Julie Kai says, just discovered your channel a few days ago. Between your faith, holistic wellness approach, adorable baby, and your burner, I was an instant fan. More to come. Thank you so much. That means a lot to us. We're glad you're enjoying our channel.
Yeah.
Do you ever get concerned about blood sugar effects with the high carb / natural sugar diet? I have a higher A1C currently, and I'm considering vegan to help lower the number. We don't really worry too much about it. We did at first, but I finally was like, you know what? I'm just gonna try for myself. I'm gonna eat as much fruit as I care for in abundance until I feel satiated, like the people I had been learning from, and I felt great and I still feel great, and I prefer to eat mostly fruits, and I think it makes me feel good. And
If you're on that like type 2 or obviously type 1 diabetic scale though, we would recommend you to our friend Mindful Diabetic Robbie and Cyrus at Mastering Diabetes, right?
Yep, masteringdiabetes.org.
And
They both have type 1 and they are managing it on an entirely raw vegan diet, primarily fruit-based.
Right.
And then they also teach other people how to manage type 1 and reverse type 2 with whole food, plant-based, low-fat diet.
Just let me finish real quick. I would also say, just as like your own thing, if you're trying the vegan thing, I would start definitely with the lower glycemic foods. Like, don't go straight fruitarian, because then yeah, it may affect your blood sugar. You'll have to ease into it and get your body used to metabolizing that sugar. Even though it's whole food, there's the fiber and the water, it shouldn't be much of an issue. If you have issues metabolizing sugar, go for the lower glycemic, the whole oats, the oat groats as opposed to the rolled oats.
And definitely don't be juicing, doing fruit juices, and
Yeah.
maybe not even fruit smoothies. If anything, stick to the whole fruits.
Yeah.
And see how you feel, and just, you'll kind of have to experiment for yourself. But with our experience, we haven't had any issues with blood sugar with fruit.
Yep.
Let's see. Hello from Turkey.
Nice.
Trying to be vegan, but I don't know how to quit yogurt. Turkish yogurt, which you know as Greek yogurt.
Yeah,
Max
super
is so
good.
cute. Come to Ankara, be my guests. That would be awesome.
I have started eating an almond-based Greek yogurt. It's got 10 grams of protein. It's really good. It's by, what the heck is it? Kite Hill. Love it. Super good stuff.
I have found a research saying that eating too much beans is not good, especially for the people who have thyroid problems. I would honestly say that somebody is going to have research on every single food on this planet having adverse effects on your body if you're eating too much of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, going back to soy, if you eat too much, it probably will have negative effects. If you eat too much beans, it probably will. I've also heard that about cruciferous veggies. If you have a thyroid issue, that if you eat too much kale and cauliflower and broccoli and cruciferous, then it can be bad for your thyroid. They say that rice has arsenic. They say that spinach has oxalates and can cause kidney stones. What else is there?
You just need to pick your best version, right? So
it's just about balance and moderation. Don't eat the same exact thing every single day, 365. So maybe you go through a phase where in the fall you're eating lots of winter root veggies and you're eating those day in and day out. That's okay, but like look at the big picture, 365 days out of the year. Are you eating the same exact thing every day, or are you adjusting seasonally and to your body's needs? You know, when something, you start to feel kind of like, oh, I don't want this right now, I don't like this anymore, it might be your body saying, maybe you need to change it up. Let's see, do you have any grocery lists? We do. I guess we don't have them on the website though. That's probably something we need to work on updating.
Yeah, we can do that.
What breakfast ideas other than smoothies are okay to have daily? From Stephanie. Stephanie, I would say if you're not looking for smoothies, try whole fruit, try oatmeal. You can do rolled oats if it's easier and quicker for you, if you prefer the taste. You can do chia pudding, steel cut oats. You can even go savory. You can do
I love my scrambled tofu.
Yeah. So those are all definitely great options.
Just fruit. Maybe just eat some plain fruit.
Let's see here. I'm going vegan very soon. Any tips on how to go vegan in a non-vegan family? We kind of just made a YouTube video about this stuff, about like how to be vegan or plant-based around friends and family.
We haven't. We may soon put that up. It's not up yet.
Yeah. My best advice would be to just not eat the meat. Maybe if your family is making animal products the center of their plate, maybe volunteer to cook up some of your own side dishes.
Bring your own food is probably the best thing.
Or if you're living under the same household, it can be a little bit more difficult.
Make your own food. Your brother, in fact, makes his own food. He's not vegan, but you need to learn how to make your own food and make it really well. Not only will you then have food to eat for yourself, if it's good, you might even help your family to transition in that way. So be the light by bringing good, tasty, awesome recipes that we have lots of on our YouTube channel.
Yeah, we
make some of ours and bring it to your family.
We always win people over with our hearty stews. Soups and stews are super delicious. That would be a good thing to start with. Are you still breastfeeding? Do you do anything special to increase your milk supply? Yes, I am still breastfeeding. Max just turned 4 months, and the goal is to get through 1 year, and then I'll probably continue breastfeeding for a couple of years, just supplementally after the first year, but solely breastfeeding for the first year. Probably gonna start introducing solids around 6 months, but even then that'll just be supplemental to breast milk, which will still be his primary nutrition. And and all of that good stuff, calorie supply. So it's going well, and for a while I was doing the mother's milk tea to increase my breast milk supply, but I'm not certain that it did anything. And then I was doing a lot of oatmeal for a while, which my body was really craving. I don't know if it was the iron in it, because they say that you can have low iron after you give birth from blood loss and all of that. So I was really listening to my body and eating lots of oats, but now lately I haven't been eating them as much, and I feel like my milk supply hasn't really changed a whole lot either way, but yeah.
Hector from Italy says hi from Italy. Ciao, Hector.
We love Italy. Maybe someday we'll move there.
We hope.
Views on natural family planning. When we were engaged to be married, we did a natural family planning course, and it was super interesting. And whether you call it natural family planning or just tracking, I think it's super important to be able to understand how your body works and understand what's going on inside, the anatomy, the cycles. The more in tune you can be with your own body, the better. So I think it's something that anyone and everyone should learn, just because it's really going to help you out, whether you want to do it from for religious reasons or not. I think it's really helpful. So I would definitely recommend educating yourself on how to chart your cycles. Let's see, do you consume tofu? Still confused if it's good for my boys. We do from time to time. Maybe like once a week you'll...
Yeah, we'll have tofu once a week. You could probably have it a couple times a week. And like Erin said earlier, if it's non-GMO and organic, it's perfectly fine. So go for it.
And again, going back to moderation, it's just, if you have concerns, you should have concerns with almost every food if you're eating them non-stop. So just make sure that whatever you're eating, you're kind of changing it up, so that if there is something that could cause problems, then it won't be as likely to.
Right.
Do you guys take any supplements or vitamins? We do have a couple of videos on that as well. We have one that's both of us talking about the supplements we take every day, and then another one for when I was pregnant. Currently, we're just doing what we've pretty much always done, which is B12 and D3, and then we actually started taking EPA DHA, which is omega-3 supplements. And again, Sun Warrior offers one, and that's the one that we've been taking and really loving. Can't say that I've noticed anything different as far as like healthy brain function. It's supposed to be good for your brain and your heart and your skin. And I haven't really noticed anything, but I think it's the overwhelming consensus from the plant-based physicians is that it can't hurt you, but it might hurt you to not be on them. So it's better to just be safe and get on one of those.
I don't ever think that I'm gonna feel anything from supplements. I think supplementing is not like a superfood and then it's gonna make you feel better, but it's gonna keep you at healthy homeostasis, right? So like Erin just said, it may not hurt you to take it, or it may not even benefit you, like you're going to feel something by taking it, but it can hurt you to not take it. So taking B12 isn't going to make you superhuman. It's something we need, therefore you should take it. So that's where we fall kind of on the EPA DHA thing. Recently, most of the docs are saying that you might as well take it. So we take that, B12, D3, and that's pretty much it that we take.
And then I guess I am still taking my prenatal vitamin, which I hadn't thought of while I was pregnant. I didn't know that you would keep taking it afterwards, but that's what everybody had told me to do. The doctors, the nurses, the midwife, our doula, so that's what I'm doing. And everything seems to be just fine, so.
Yeah. I take a men's multi like every once in a while. Some iron that we have every once in a while, because Erin was taking it when she was pregnant as recommended, and I've taken that too, and just a little bit, but yeah. Go watch one of our videos. We have a couple videos about it.
What's your favorite nut and seed butter? I like just a raw almond butter. It's not cheap, but for how I don't eat it very often, so it lasts a really long time. That's my favorite.
Yeah, I like peanut butter. I can't get over peanut butter.
What do you like, bud?
The one thing about peanuts is that you want to find them organic, right? So buy a raw organic peanut butter, and you'll be set. I cannot get on board with the almond butter. I did for a couple of years, but I just don't like it. So I'm still a peanut butter guy.
Love the gray EMR sweatshirt and t-shirt Erin wears in some videos, but don't see it available on the website coming soon. It was available, but we sold out, and we just haven't printed more because we're looking into using a new platform to sell our apparel and merch. So hopefully we'll get that figured out soon because we'd love to be able to offer that for you guys.
Yeah. Anybody, we need an assistant. Anybody up for like a digital assistant? Because that would be helpful. We can trade services, something. If you guys would like to work with us, we are thinking about getting an assistant for email checking and stuff like that, submitting designs and doing some of these just task-oriented things that we need done. So anyway, so we can continue to serve you guys in that way. Anybody that can design ebooks or would like to edit, you know, text, blogs, anything, reach out to us. Send us a DM on Instagram. We are open.
Let me see, what else? What else do we have here on the title that I wanted to cover? Ex-vegans. This is a juicy topic, so what are your guys' thoughts on everybody who's falling off the wagon?
Yeah.
Because we have our thoughts on it. So, what do we got?
Yeah, go ahead and talk about that.
My opinion is that I think that there's two different places that people are getting their information as far as how they're living their lives, whether it be the food they're eating or the beliefs that they're believing or the exercise regimen that they're on. There's two different camps. You can be getting it from physicians with a PhD who are trained and know what they're talking about, or you can get it from YouTubers. That being said, we are YouTubers, but I think it's important to look at the YouTubers and where they're getting their information, and sometimes that can be difficult to kind of weed out. But I will say that our information only comes from a couple of places, and it's from like Forks Over Knives and nutritionfacts.org, you know, Dr. Esselstyn's and Michael Greger's. And so we try our best to do the research for ourselves. So where I'm going with all of this is that a lot of these people who are ex-vegans who didn't stick it out didn't really stick with it for that long of a time to begin with. For them to say that veganism is what caused their health issues, that's very, very highly debatable. I don't know that that's necessarily, you know, something that they can really say was the cause. Because veganism is so trendy, that means a lot of people jump on the bandwagon without having educated themselves, without having done any reading or research, or without having stuck with it for a long enough period. And so that can really alter the kind of results that you're getting. So I think it's just important to look in the right places when you're trying to do this, to really make sure that you're supplementing properly, that you're getting a well-balanced diet, and that you're not doing it simply to lose weight and cleanse and detox, because the cleanses and the detoxes can be really extreme and really hard on your body and cause you to become deficient rather quickly. So
yeah, I've kind of fallen on like the almost I don't care what other people do bandwagon. So to say that Ravana isn't educated or the other girl isn't educated, I mean, I've seen them with these doctors, so I don't really feel super comfortable saying that they're uneducated. I just am to the point where it's like, if they want to change, it's none of my business. They have huge followings and they're gonna do what they feel is best for them, or simply maybe they just want to. And at the end of the day, we have to all realize, saying that they're uneducated or saying that
I wasn't saying they're uneducated. I'm just saying we all have to be really careful where we're getting educated from, and to always do our own research before we believe just anybody.
Right, and I'm sure that they have.
Right.
So at the end of the day, they're gonna do what they wanna do. why it doesn't affect us, or it shouldn't affect us as if we're somehow offended. You know, I just think that
that's one of the
we're all individual. We need to just continue to do what we want to do, because if there comes a time when Dusty, decides to not be vegan anymore for whatever reason, you know, I have to stay true to myself and do that because I feel like that's what I need to do. Maybe that's what these other people are doing, and maybe it's just a trial thing. Like the judgment, the criticism, all the stuff is not cool, and so I don't want to get into that.
That kind of just makes a bad name for, you know, everybody in this plant-based movement when it becomes more about like, oh, you're either in or you're out, you know? It's just kind of unfair to everybody, because the foundation of veganism or being plant-based should be all about, it is about compassion. And if you're not showing compassion, not just for animals, but for like your brothers and sisters, for each other, then it kind of defeats the purpose.
Yeah.
And we've run into this same problem within our faith, within Christianity, and in the church. It just seems like a lot of the people are just so quick to judge each other when they stumble and fall, and when they slip up and do something wrong. And it honestly, it's a hindrance, and it prevents people from coming in. If they were curious about, you know, Christianity or expanding, growing their faith, it can kind of scare people off.
Same thing with being vegan. People are like, I don't even want to go there because if I do it wrong, I'm going to get all this backlash and judgment. And so as viewers of our channel, I would encourage all of you guys to also take that perspective and release the judgment on everyone else out there for what they may or may not be doing 100% correct, or the way that you would like to see them, or the way that you think is right. And we all have an opinion, and you guys are entitled to that. We're entitled to that. But at the end of the day, who are we to judge? You know what I mean? So.
And also, like I said, we do our best to educate ourselves, but that doesn't mean that we're not fallible. And one of the biggest reasons that we like to be on YouTube and on social media is not just to like teach or share our experience, but to learn from you guys, from your experience, from your education, because we're always filling in the gaps all the time. Like we were recently just we were talking about the sea veggies we eat for iodine, and we were doing like the dulse flakes, and then we found this kelp which has like a whole bunch more iodine, but a lot of people were telling us like, don't be eating that stuff raw.
Long story short, we're learning from you guys.
Yeah, don't be eating like high quantities, because you can also get too much iodine. So yeah, we learn little random things all the time, and some things are really big that really help us out. So just if you're transitioning and you're new to it and you're feeling like, ooh, I don't know if this is right because all these people are bashing it now and bad-mouthing it and saying it doesn't work, give it some time and go to sources that you know you can trust, so you can get started on the right foot, because we are all different. So just because it didn't work for one girl or one guy doesn't mean that it's not going to work for you. Just do your best to give it a valid effort, because from our experience, it's been life-changing in the best of ways.
We got a bunch of questions that we should probably try to get to here. Somebody asked about, Mel asked about intermittent fasting. Would that work with being vegan? Absolutely. Intermittent fasting is just waiting longer in the mornings to eat, eating an earlier dinner, so the space, the amount of time that you're not eating is greater. So definitely, you can do that on any diet. Let's see.
What is the name of our plant? Somebody wanted to know.
That's a fiddle leaf fig.
Marion,
that's a fiddle leaf fig. Like fiddle, like a violin, a fiddle.
Comfy Cross Stitcher said the ex-vegans were all too restrictive.
Totally.
Yeah, not to go too much longer. We don't get too long-winded on it, but yeah, that was the main thing was, you know, they were doing too many of the water fasts and the cleanses and the detoxes, and you know, at a certain point, it's like, you're so healthy and fit and you look great. Why do you think that your body is so dirty inside that it needs to be cleansed? Yeah. It's really not the case. And the honest to goodness truth is the best cleanse for your body is just to eat whole, healthy fruits, vegetables, nuts and seeds, and whole grains.
Let's see. Tips for the right doctor. Oh man, that's really hard. Doctors are hard to find. Go to plantbaseddocs.com. Start there.
And you may not find a doctor who is plant-based, but more and more of them are becoming accepting of being plant-based and veganism. None of our doctors are vegan by any stretch of the imagination, but we've gotten the green light from all of them, saying props to you guys. That's awesome that you do that. Keep it up. You're healthy. So you don't necessarily have to find a plant-based doctor. Just try to find one that's not gonna slap you on the wrist.
Yeah. Yeah, someone said, Sunshine said she doesn't like the in or out idea, and we totally agree.
Yeah.
Let's see. We all have room to grow, totally agree. Be less judgmental. New vegan here. Courtney, let's see. So glad I found you guys. You also live in Nebraska, that's awesome. You are not the only vegan here. We are two more. Let's see. What else?
Here, let's see.
Sorry guys, we want to answer as many questions as we can because that's what we're here for, is helping build a community, and this is like one of the bigger lives we've had, so thank you guys, number one, for coming and showing up and hanging out with us. Keep sending your questions. We're kind of filing through them here. A lot of them are just comments, so.
Do you guys have any tips for fertility?
More fat.
Yeah, incorporating a little bit more fat and a little bit more calories, and also kind of reeling back on the extremely high intense physical activity, like running super long distances can really impact your cycles.
Yeah.
And just like working out really, really hard day in and day out. Give yourself some rest days and try to do some lower impact things that can really help out a lot.
Yeah.
And less stress.
Less stress.
And your mental game too. If you're telling yourself that you have hormonal imbalances and issues and you're not gonna ever get pregnant, like all of that stuff plays a part.
Yeah. There's endless stories about people that give up on trying to have a kid, decide to adopt, and then they get pregnant. So there's been a lot of evidence, or at least people say that there's truth to the whole mental game when it comes to getting pregnant. Ease up on it. It'll happen.
Let's see. We have an organic farm where we are working to grow all our own plant-based food. Have you guys gardened at all to be connected with your food?
Yes.
Absolutely, yeah.
In fact, today I spent all day building raised garden bed boxes for Aaron's grandpa.
And that is the coolest way to become connected with your food from start to finish. You plant the seed, you watch it sprout, you nurture it and water it.
Yeah.
And then you get to eat this food, and it makes you so much more grateful. It makes me less like, how much can I cram on my plate, and more like, oh, I'm gonna savor this cherry tomato because it's so good and so juicy, and to know that it came from such a good place with organic soil and all of that stuff. So it's definitely a good practice, even if you can just, you know, even if you just live in an apartment and you put in a tomato pot on your balcony just to kind of see, or like have a little pot of like basil in your house somewhere, just anything like that to help you feel connected and to remind you when you go to the grocery store and you get all this food to just kind of slow down and be grateful for where it all came from and just how much work goes into. Hi, Bubba.
Someone just asked me, did my heartburn reflux go away as soon as I went vegan? No, I was vegan for like a year at least before my reflux went away. So do what's good right for your body, but be patient. You've done all this damage over all these years. It takes time to reel it back and to fix those problems, right? So take your time.
Sorry.
Bo's getting his head up in here. He's not quite tall enough. Okay, so we are almost at an hour. We've got like 7 minutes left, you guys. Max is adorable. He gets a lot of love. He doesn't know it yet, but.
Going vegan next month. Oh shoot, I lost it. Where'd that go?
It all just refreshed. Hang on. Going vegan next month. What about ingredients? Say may contain milk. That's all about like the equipment that is used. So, you know, I think it's really hard to avoid that.
It's something they have to say too for like liability purposes and stuff.
For people with severe allergies, I think they have to.
But it doesn't mean that it's not vegan.
Yeah. It just says like there has been milk in this building.
That is a good way to check. Like if you go to the gas station and say you're on a road trip and you're like, I don't know what to get, and you grab a Cliff Bar and you're like, I don't know if they're vegan or not. It'll say contains like wheat, soy, dairy, then you know, boom, it's not vegan. Or it'll say, if it says may contain tree nuts, peanuts, that just has to do with the facility it's processed in. But
yeah.
If it doesn't actually say contains, then you're probably okay.
Yeah, and you guys, if you haven't noticed, if you're not paying attention to the comments, you guys are answering a lot of each other's questions, which is really cool, really good. Yeah. So if you're asking questions and we aren't getting to them, people are commenting and answering for you. So check those out, definitely.
My doctor told me that doing weights helps with conception, and it did work for me.
Well, there you go.
Well, actually, that was one of the topics I wanted to touch on too. Oh, sweet bee. I've been lifting weights with Dusty in our home gym in the garage and feeling pretty amazing. Let's check out these guns.
Woo!
Okay, you guys.
Put them away.
Cut me some slack. I'm not pumped right now. Just kidding, but yeah, I can see that being the case. Lifting weights is really great also for women because it'll help with your bones. So if you're prone to, or if you have osteoporosis or osteopenia in your family, it can help to do some weight-bearing exercise to help strengthen your bones and make them more dense.
Someone said that they are recently pregnant and started leaving out the maca. I think we need to start leaving out the maca. Erin has not.
I took it throughout my whole pregnancy and just recently phased it out of our smoothies just the last couple weeks, but
yeah.
I don't think it's a bad thing, and I'm not gonna say whether you should or shouldn't use it during pregnancy. I didn't have any issues whatsoever, but again, going back to just moderation and cycling things.
Cycle it in for a few weeks, cycle it out for a few weeks with everything.
Like we were using spirulina a lot, and now we're using barley grass juice powder a lot. Just changing it up.
Top 5 protein sources: lentils, chickpeas, black beans, quinoa,
brown rice,
tofu.
Peas and rice are good.
Well,
as far as
yeah, peas are great, and rice, they're all good, but you know, I would say for like legit, like protein, you have to say tofu, even though it's not a whole food. Tofu's up there, but chickpeas are like one of the highest. Red lentils are the best. Yeah, any kind of beans really. Peas, rice, quinoa. Yeah. These always refresh and we lose them. Which foods contain a lot of fiber? All of them. If you're eating a plant-based diet, all of them do. Obviously your greens, your beans. If you're eating a whole food plant-based diet, you do not need to worry about fiber. You will get it.
And there are 2 types of fiber. There's soluble and insoluble. So the soluble fiber is going to slippery up the pipes, and the insoluble is going to help it's going to be roughage that'll help push things through. So you need both kinds. I can't remember which one. Is it soluble that's good for your heart too? Fiber is good for everything.
Yeah, fiber is good for everything.
Let's just leave it at that.
In fact, someone said earlier that fiber is good for conceiving because it helps to clean out the gut. It helps improve hormones and everything. So yeah, don't be afraid of fiber. In fact,
if you're new,
you should be on. Go ahead.
And if you're new to the plant-based diet, then a fun fact that might be of interest to you is that all animal products contain 0 fiber, and all plant foods contain fiber. So you're not getting any fiber from animal foods. And another fun fact is that all animal products contain cholesterol, and plant foods contain 0. So all the fiber, none of the cholesterol, win-win. I'm gonna check our stew really quick. We should bring the camera over and show it.
Yeah, maybe we'll do that. You wanna grab it and take it over there? I'm gonna read.
The phone?
Yeah, here, I'll grab it. Okay, we're gonna show you guys dinner that is done.
So this is like our age-old classic. This is the one that got us started being plant-based. So it's just a vegetable stock, low sodium, and then we've got onions, garlic, red lentils, which you can see they've like dissolved to help thicken the stew. So red lentils are our secret to make it a good hearty stew. And then we've got sweet potatoes in there. We've got carrots, red beets, yellow beets, and celery. Oh, and then I seasoned it
We
just with
are
salt
hungry.
and pepper and a bay leaf. And I think I might put curry powder in it also.
Let's wait. Let's not put it in the whole dish. We'll put it on our own.
I knew you'd
We
say
can't.
something.
I like to curry like almost everything, but we can't curry.
I need to show you guys something too. So a fellow follower sent Max a little baby gift, and
Like
look
the
at this
coolest
card.
stuff.
It's so fitting because it's an ocean. The kindest, sweetest card. So thank you so much if you're watching. Vanessa
Okay.
and family.
Let's see, you guys. So we hit an hour. We like to keep these right at about an hour. I'm gonna make sure we didn't miss any of these big questions. Let's see.
I want to show two more things while you're looking. So she sent some cute little baby clothes, and then this book is called Let Us Pray. It's the Lord's Prayer and the Hail Mary in a children's book with cute little illustrations. I love that.
Isabella.
And then, sorry, one more. This one's called Hello, Hello. It's awesome. It's super cute.
Yeah, thanks for whoever sent that. That's awesome. Isabella said, what are good sources of healthy cholesterol? I'm vegan and my good cholesterol is low. Me too. So this would be a situation where you need more plant sterols, in which case saturated is going to actually benefit you and your cholesterol if it's too low. Enter coconut oil. That's been like the only one that I've read. Like a lot of vegetable oils will do it. You can eat more avocado, obviously. But again, coconut oil in that case, Isabella, and bringing up your healthy cholesterol, from what my doctor told me, should be okay and should be a good thing. And in regards to my hormones too, with my cholesterol being a little bit low, they've been in and out, and overall they're fine. But I've also heard from another mentor that said throwing a scoop of coconut oil or a little bit of coconut oil in your daily intake is going to help that excuse me, good cholesterol and that hormone function and everything. So
Do you consume coffee and or creamers? Do you
No,
guys recommend
no.
cutting out caffeine if we're trying to conceive? It couldn't hurt. There's just a lot of things showing that, you know, caffeine makes you anxious and irritable, and I can vouch for that. And it also can inhibit absorption. Uh-oh. He might
Okay.
be getting hungry.
we're probably gonna cut it out. So we're gonna eat. He has to eat. We're a little bit over an hour. So thank you guys for coming, and we're gonna do this again probably in the next couple weeks. The caffeine issue, we like to say avoid whatever stimulants and anything that's addictive. Maybe just leave it out. So anyway, thanks again. Except for this channel, if you're addicted to our YouTube channel, bring it on. Anyway,
So
thanks for the support,
Thanks
guys.
for tuning in. And also, we'll probably be wanting to do an Instagram live. So if you guys don't follow us over there, we're at Aaron Stanzik and at DB Stanzik. So get on Instagram.
Max doesn't have one yet.
We like to pop in and do some more candid live